The torch was passed, but in my case, it was not actually in the Y, but as a result of the Y. I think that the influence, the fact that I had such a wonderful time when I was in high school, I loved high school, and Y was the thing that really made that happen, and the leadership skills that we developed doing things on our own, and leadership skills that we developed watching the people that were advisors to us. Doug Monahan was the head of the Camp Echo. When I was a counselor, he was certainly a role model. Don Calhoun was our counselor of our Y Club for most of those years. Just, another guy's dad who was willing to put up with our nonsense and give us a little space, but also moving us forward and doing some worthwhile things. And years later, the continuity with the Y is that my wife and I one year received the Harper Award, which is given by the Y to folks that have had some particular something to do with youth or doing something successfully with youth in Evanston. And that was our Tuxus was the name of the youth group in our church, and my wife and I were advisors to that group for 27 years. And I think one of the things that we inherited from what we learned at the Y, from our own experience and from the experience of the counselors, gave us the ability to do whatever we did to work successfully with the Tuxus kids for all those years. So I think for me that's how the Y background and that being in the Franklin Club those years transferred itself into the next generation. And I would happily note that one of the early Tuxus kids was a guy by the name of Bill Geiger, who, as you know now, is the head of the Y. So that's kind of the end of our string. No, it would be hard to imagine Evanston without a Y. One of the things that's neat about the Y is that it's changed and gone in directions that it needed to go in over the years. That the Y is today obviously is not the Y of yesterday, but the nucleus is there. Probably the basic mission statement is still there, but expanded, and it's not just boys anymore. It's boys and girls, and the living quarters, and the what do you call it, the little kids daycare center down the street, and a lot of things I probably don't even know about. But I think the Y has kept its eye on opportunities, places where things can be done, where the Y would be an efficient agent to help in a particular niche in Evanston, and I think that's what's made it strong, and I would assume that's what's going to keep it going. When I was in high school, if there had been no Y, I suppose because my only other interest was playing the saxophone, I would have ended up with a few friends that I don't know, we probably would have gotten together, played in a little band or something, but I can't imagine socially what my connection would have been. I don't remember any other groups or functions or things that would have brought us together. To me, it's a wonderful world. I don't ever remember not having a group of friends. I guess when I was really little, we had some good friends in the neighborhoods, but by the time you get to be 6th grade, when the Franklin Club started, that would be a critical time to have some other people that you thought were your friends and were on your side, and to have that group all through high school. I can't imagine what it would be like without that group. And I think that's what we tried to transfer when we worked with the Tuxus kids. That was their version of my Y experience. I tried to help them experience in a different setting, but the lessons and the feelings came from my experience at the Y. The one thing I think about when I think about the McGaw YMCA is friendships. It's oftentimes you say, oh, you talk about the Y, and so you immediately picture a building on Grove, but when you say Y to me, it means the Franklin Y Club and those friendships and those the guys that were in that club with us. I'm just guessing it. It's not true today as it was in our time, but there was an emphasis on spirit, mind, and body. We did get a little more, in passing, we got a little more theology than I would expect you to get at the Y today. But I think maybe the thing that made it special is that you were free to participate, free to do, got minimum instruction, but somebody gave you ideas, gave you reasons to go forward, but not being felt like, you know, you were under somebody's thumb. It was a freedom that you didn't have in school, because at school you had to do everything according to the curriculum, and the Y, it was kind of your time, your freedom, your play, but was headed in some sort of positive direction. I think as a high school person, you really have no concept of the influence of the Y, or the amount of time and energy and planning that went into getting you where you were. We just think of ourselves. Here we are, we're doing this, we're doing that. You know, we're friends, it's our club, it's us, and yeah, we're Y boys, but I don't think you disassociate yourself from the reality that this is all made possible and came about because you're a Y boy. And you begin to think that, you know, you're just together because that's the way it's meant to be. We also had a lady who took us in, so we had a place to be, which is not the Y, but I don't know how it got started, but there was a girl that we were all in love with who was a year younger. So we started going over to her house, and her mother was the kind that just loved to have kids around. So as time went on, we just literally walked in and out of this house like it was a perpetual open house. Drank Cokes out of the refrigerator. Learned to play bridge there. And after we guys came back from the service, and we began to realize what she had done for us in high school years, we all went over to officially thank her, and we got to calculating how much money she must have spent over the years on Cokes that were in the refrigerator. But it was a unique place to it was a hangout. It's a remarkable. Not the Y, but it was the Franklins that hung out there. And then eventually, of course, we had to date the girl once in a while, too.